Hello everyone, welcome back to another devlog for Head Wizard. Since the last video I've been working on the main enemies of the game. They are the security guard guys who walk around with laser guns and you have to avoid them. This time I've recorded me creating the assets for the enemies, and I thought it might be fun showing you a time-lapse while I talk what I'm doing. So the first big chunk of work went into creating the sprite itself. You're seeing a time-lapse right now of me creating the standing animation, which is what I started with. I also created the normal map for that standing animation, so I could get an idea of if it would look nice or not. The last games, the browser games, they had a little bit less detail, so it wouldn't be quite clear to some people that they were security guards. So yeah, when I saw the standing sprite, I thought they looked pretty nice and they looked like security guards this time around, so I continued with the walking animation. The walking cycle took me a little bit longer than the standing animation because it's an animation. The funny thing about the walking cycle of the enemies is that the head bounces a little bit off their heads when they go into the air a little bit. So in the animation there's a few frames where he does his walking with his legs and then he moves up a little bit to make a step, and then when he lands the head falls back onto his head. I think it adds a little bit of humor to the game because I don't want it to get too dark. It has to be a little bit funny as well. So yeah, when I wrapped up the walking animation I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Then it was time to create a normal map so that the lighting would affect the walking enemies as well. This did take me quite a bit longer though, so I will be speeding up the time-lapse a little bit here. Once I was done spriting the lighting, I imported them into Sprite Lamp and checked if everything was alright. Sometimes weird glitches can occur if I overlapped a couple of directions weirdly, but that wasn't the case, so I was quite happy with how it turned out. So when the assets were done I could implement the enemy into Unity. Implementing the enemy in Unity was simple on the part of having the enemy move around because I already had a character controller in place. So I only had to focus on the AI and the laser for shooting the player. The AI for this enemy follows a really simple pattern. This is because I want the player to be able to recognize this pattern really quickly. And the pattern is that he walks from one direction to another, and then if he encounters the end of the cliff or maybe a wall, he will stop, wait there for a second, and then turn around and walk the other way. And then he will repeat this process. After finishing the patrolling AI, I was almost done with the enemies. I just had to implement the lasers. At first I thought the lasers would be like a dim red laser, which you could see through. But then I found out if the laser was bright, the bloom would pick it up really nicely, so it would make it look like some kind of futuristic laser. And I really liked the look of it, so I kept that in the game. So yeah, this means the enemies are mostly functional now. I've also added a small level controller which checks if the player is being shot or not. If the player is being shot, then the level will restart in 1 or 2 seconds. And also if the player is shot, he will disappear in this poof effect, which also happens when you switch places with enemies. This is because I don't have a death animation for the player yet, but I'm quite liking how it looks right now, so I might leave it in like this. One last thing I also added since the last time is a camera shake. The camera shake happens when the player gets shot, but it also happens when the player drops one of these statues on the ground from up high. And this is because these statues are heavy and I really wanted to make it look like they are heavy. And that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching and I hope you liked it. Please leave a like if you did. And if you want to stay updated on these devlog videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. For now, thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.